All right, guys. So once again, we got to do another follow-up on the Fani Willis story. The Fulton County DA, who is facing major backlash from everybody for having a relationship with Mr. Nathan Wade, the prosecutor that she hired to go after Trump, to go after her political enemies, in which she's been accused of getting kickbacks and benefiting from the taxpayer dollars that she decided to pay a guy who was unqualified to be on the case in the first place. Now, yesterday we talked about the backlash she was getting from residents of Fulton County who showed up to one of the county meetings and demanded investigations into Fani Willis and audits of her office because they're sick and tired of their taxpayer dollars being spent in ways that are corrupt. Take a look.
Fulton County Commissioners approved their 2024 fiscal year budget today, but it's the funding for the district attorney's office that was the hot button topic.
Fox 5's Brittany Edney is live at the Fulton County Government Center tonight. Brittany, what happened during that meeting?
Well, you definitely had some heated public input, and if you combine that with Commissioner Bob Ellis's recent inquiry into Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, well, there was a lot of spotlight on the budget and specifically money for her office. Some commissioners say they wanted to give more funding. Others, like Ellis, said that he wants an accounting of how every single dollar has been spent. County District Attorney Fani Willis was a primary focus of the public comment portion of the county commissioners meeting.
It is clear we have abuse in the DA's office.
Commissioners approved the 2024 fiscal year budget Wednesday. In it, funding for the DA's office is marked at around $36.6 million. That comes in at about $200,000 lower than what the DA's office actually spent in 2023. Commissioner Dana Barrett commented that the criminal justice sector needs more funding.
There's headlines right now, and there's all this salacious stuff going around, and there's a lot of conversation about the DA, and over the past year there's been various conversations about the jail and the sheriff and what have you. But I think it would be we would be remiss if we used our budget as a means of punishment.
But it's past funds that was the focus for Commissioner Bob Ellis. He sent this letter to Willis demanding transparency on how she spent county funds while prosecuting the Georgia election interference case involving former President Donald Trump. Specifically, he narrowed in on Willis's alleged romantic relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade.
These are fairly straightforward requests, which any elected official who is entrusted with public funds should supply that information back.
Ellis, a Republican, says the inquiry into the prosecutor, who is a Democrat, is nonpartisan.
We're talking about numbers, we're talking about dollars, we're talking about facts. We're not talking about partisanship, we're not talking about race, we're not talking about tribalism. We're talking about citizens, money, and is it being used in the way it's supposed to be, in the way it was intended.
In light of the allegations, county commissioners voted to put a hold on the DA's current request for just over $600,000, and that request is for 16 new vehicles. I'm told they'll bring that back up at their next meeting. Reporting live at the Fulton County Government Center, I'm Brittany Edney, Fox 5 News.
Brittany, thanks.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, while the Fulton County Commissioner may not be talking about race, Fani Willis is talking about race. The only thing she's talking about is race. And it's so bad that she's actually getting roasted by the local news media for always boohoo, whining, and crying racism when it comes to these allegations and people asking questions about the corruption that allegedly she's partaking in, okay? And now we have some leaked emails from the DA's office that accuse the Trump attorney of disrespect, okay? And we're talking about disrespect when it comes to black women, right? And she's getting destroyed and roasted for it, okay? And it's absolutely hilarious to see her career simply fall apart. And the only thing she can do is boohoo, whine, and cry racism. She actually has not give any explanation for why people are accusing her of this stuff outside of just racism and sexism. And it's so bad that even the local news media is like roasting her for it. So let's get into it.
Emails obtained by the Fox 5i team shed new light on claims of racism made by Fulton DA Fani Willis in response to criticism of how she's handling the election interference case. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Willis has already lashed out publicly at critics of her decision to hire a special prosecutor with limited felony trial experience. A man court filings claim she is also dating. Let's bring in Fox 5i team reporter Randy Travis. And Randy, these emails suggest this is not the first time she's suggested she's being singled out for being a black woman.
That's right, Courtney. Yeah, Russ, the emails are largely between Willis's office and Trump defense attorney Steve Sadow, but they were included in a group email to the legal teams of all 15 remaining defendants. They were sent 2 days after one of those defendants filed a motion accusing Willis of having a romantic relationship with one of her top prosecutors.
God, wasn't it them that attacked this lawyer of impeccable credentials? The black man I chose has been a judge more than 10 years, run a private practice more than 20.
This was DA Fani Willis January 14th, days after accusations surfaced in court filings that she paid Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade at least $660,000 to head up the Trump investigation, while at the same time allegedly vacationing together on trips to California and the Caribbean. So far, her only explanation is to talk about race.
Some will never see a black man as qualified, no matter his achievements.
But according to...
Yeah, so, again, this is what we have. We have the local news media. Even the local news media is like, well, so far the only thing that she said in response to all this is to talk about race. Right? Even the local news media is like, yo, this woman has nothing except the race card. Absolutely nothing. No accountability, no responsibility. Just, hey, all these accusations are because I'm a black woman, right? I mean, come on, right? Come on. Even the local news media is calling it out. That's how bad it is, right? But again, that's how you know somebody's guilty, okay? When you know that you have nothing, you have no way to defend yourself. When the allegations against you are true, you pull the race card. And this is why she has nothing except the race card, because she can't defend it. She can't defend herself outside of that. Which again, you know, it really blows my mind. She's an attorney, right? She's supposed to be a lawyer. You would think she would be able to come up with some type of defense other than the race card, but she can't.
Emails obtained by the Fox 5i team, Willis has also used race when talking to defense attorneys. With a January 8th motions deadline fast approaching, Trump attorney Steve Sadow repeatedly emailed asking whether the DA's office had a certain document that had not been turned over for discovery. At one point on December 27th, he wrote in all caps, "Please respond to my emails below." After admitting she deemed some of the emails not worthy of a response, Willis's executive district attorney, Daisha Young, responded January 10th. "We are both aware, especially as an African-American woman, some find it difficult to treat us respectfully."
Wow. So I want you guys to understand. Somebody from the Trump team says, hey, I need you to turn over this document. Please do so. They're not responding. So he's basically saying, look, please respond to the emails. Like, please be a professional. Apparently asking black women to be professional, right, and to do your damn job. Apparently that's racism/sexism. Again, this is incredible, right? This story just continues to get better and better and better, okay? She's acting just as unprofessionally as you would expect somebody like her to act in her position. Again, this is why stereotypes against black folks exist, right? When people, talk about why do people have certain perceptions of black people, okay, when it comes to professionalism and other things, stories like this are why, right? This is the most unprofessional thing ever. It is extremely unprofessional to not respond to emails, to not do what you're supposed to do, not do your job, to say, oh, well, I'm deeming your emails not worthy of a response. What the hell are you talking about? These people are requesting documents, okay? You need to turn over those documents. And for you to cry racism just because somebody's saying, hey, you're acting unprofessionally, that you need to do your job. Again, this is why people have the perceptions that they have.
Willis herself also weighed in. In the legal community and the world at large, some people will never be able to respect African Americans and or women as their equal and counterpart. That is a burden you do not experience. Further, some are so used to doing it, they are not even aware they are doing it.
Yeah, again, asking somebody to do their job is disrespect. Wow.
While others are intentional in their continued disrespect.
It just seems so incredibly inappropriate to go to sort of the nuclear option of saying you're a racist and you don't respect women and those kinds of things.
Manny Aurora represented Kenneth Chesborough, one of the 4 defendants in the case who already took plea deals.
Being a jerk doesn't make you racist or demeaning of women or any of these negative terms that you've seen. And
Sato had no comment about the emails. That same day, he responded to Willis by writing, "No defense counsel has treated you or your prosecutors in a disrespectful or condescending manner. The relationship among counsel in our case has nothing to do with race or gender, nor should it." As for Nathan Wade, Aurora believes a special prosecutor should step down, no matter his race.
I would just like to see a clean trial. And unfortunately, around Trump world, nothing ever seems to be clean. But now these prosecutors are feeding into it. It's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy of idiocy.
A self-fulfilling prophecy of idiocy, he says. Well, the DA's office had no comment on the email exchange. The deadline to respond in court to the conflict of interest allegations is February 2nd, and that is next week.
Yeah, just another point of interest in this long saga, Randy.
They just keep coming.
Seems like new developments every single day.
Absolutely.
All right. Randy, thanks.
Not even close to being over, Randy. Thank you. Fulton County DA Fani Willis became a primary focus of the public comment portion of today's Fulton County Commission meeting, but it's past funds that were the focus for Commissioner Bob Ellis. Ellis sent this letter to Willis demanding transparency with regard to how she spent county funds while prosecuting the election interference case involving former President Trump. Specifically, he narrowed in on Willis's alleged romantic relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade.
We're talking about numbers, we're talking about dollars, we're talking about facts. We're not talking about partisanship, we're not talking about race, we're not talking about tribalism. We're talking about citizens, money, and is it being used in the way it's supposed to be, in the way it was intended.
Ellis, who is a Republican, says the inquiry into the Democratic prosecutor is nonpartisan.
Yeah, well, he's going to be accused of racism, right? He's going to be accused of racism and sexism for simply asking questions, right, about how a black woman is spending money, right? This is what they're going to do, okay? They're going to boo-hoo on and cry and say, oh, you're only doing this because of race. You ain't doing this because I'm a woman, right? Not because I got caught, allegedly, using taxpayer dollars through laundering it through a guy that was unqualified, a diversity hire that you brought on to go after your political opponent, and then you went on vacations with him where, they got into all types of ungodly things, right? They were probably doing together. Again, this is, it's ridiculous. It really is. It's embarrassing, okay? It really is embarrassing for people like Fani Willis. And when people, again, talk about black folks being in positions of power, and then you see stuff like this, you see this type of clown show, again, it doesn't bode well, right? It really doesn't help, okay? And, ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think that this is going to end well for her. These Trump prosecutions seem to be falling apart one by one because they were corrupt from the get-go, right? A lot of them were illegitimate, and this was probably one of the most illegitimate ones. And lo and behold, the person that's trying to go after the corruption of Trump is actually a lot more corrupt than the person that she's trying to go after. Again, everything from Democrats is project shit. And that's what we have here. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.